Is it gold? See 5 ways to identify gold. This is Prospector Jess, and I'm going to take you through some more information on gold and gold prospecting. I get asked a question quite commonly. How do I tell whether it's gold? Let's go through a few ways that you can identify gold when you find it, and also identify if it's not when you don't. So, 5 useful ways to ID gold. How can you know if it's gold or not? That's the big question here, and we're going to set out to start to answer that question. First is visual inspection. When you visually inspect gold, you can look to identify particular traits that are visibly present, especially when the gold is of good quality like the one you see here. There are certain things gold will do and things it will not do that will tell you whether or not this is gold, and you use that framework to help identify and eliminate things that aren't gold from those that are. And some of them might surprise you, so stay tuned. Physics and electromagnetic properties of gold are quite unique. As you can see here, metal detectors exploit this to an extreme. But there's other characteristics that have to do with the electromagnetic structure of gold, and specifically the ocean of electric ions that float in gold like no other crystal, no other mineral, and like not very many metals. And so those things can help you identify gold and distinguish it from other things, like iron or rock. Hardness and malleability. We're going to look a little bit about the hardness and malleability, a trait that gives gold its ability to form beautiful nuggets and also form very thin structures such as gold foil, or even the plating that goes on aerospace goggles so that they can see through them. They're only a few atoms thick. But gold has that property of being able to be bent and stretched and pulled so that it's so thin that you can see through it. That's a unique property that we will look at to exploit on identifying gold. Specific gravity. We've talked about this one before, but we'll talk about it again. And one of the reasons is quite simple. It's the most commonly used physical characteristic of gold to separate it easily from its neighboring minerals and rocks. So it's something that's important to know, but you can also use specific gravity, not just in the sluice box or the pan, but you can use gold in a more scientific way to specifically identify its characteristic nature and identify whether or not it's gold, and in fact identify its purity to some degree. So let's take a look at that. Also, we'll talk a little bit about mineralogy and chemistry. How do you use those to identify gold? And what specific things can you use in the field to help you identify gold? These characteristics are quite distinctive, and they will tell you whether or not it's gold based on neighboring minerals and things like that. But it's important to be able to distinguish that and then put all 5 of these together as a simple method to sift out things that are or are not gold from one another. That way you can answer the question yourself. How do I know this is gold? So watch for the next 5 posts for more. We'll start with visual inspection, so see more about visual inspection for gold in my next post, where we detail more about what visual inspections you want to carry out. This is Prospector Jess, over and out.